All kinds of shoulder pain can be triggered by unresolved emotional trauma, such as anger or grief. For people who have shoulder pain and have no freezing of their shoulder, I can just usually guide them to tap down one side and then down the other side with the other hand. For people who have one frozen shoulder, we'll tap down one side with the uninvolved arm. And then since they can't really reach that well with the frozen side, we can just continue down the opposite side with the normal shoulder and hand. Now, if you're in the unfortunate 1/3 of people who get a second frozen shoulder in the opposite side, and you happen to have it simultaneously as the first shoulder is not completely resolved and the second one starts freezing, then you may not be able to tap with either hand on your face because you're stuck in the T-Rex position. In that case, we're going to just tap on the hands. It's going to be a little simpler, but it will also work. And the first thing we're going to do is, instead of the setup phrase rubbing on the sore spot, we're going to tap on the crotch shot point, which is on the side at the base of the little finger. And I usually just do like this, tap, and then repeat the setup phrase 3 times. And then we're going to go and then just put your thumb up and we're going to tap on the outside of the nail bed, on the corner of the nail bed, and just work our way down that way, like this, and like this, like this, and like this. Not as many points in the sequence, but it works just as well. Then you switch to the other side. Tap down here, tap down here, tap down here, tap down here, and tap down here. Otherwise, it's the same process. So we're going to start with the setup phrase, which is tapping on the crotch shot point. Even though I have emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder, I deeply and completely accept myself. Take a deep breath in of your favorite healing color and breathe out a color with the negative emotions. And then we're going to start just tapping on the finger points. So start with just that soundbite phrase, emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder. Go to this finger, emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder. Emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder. Ring finger, emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder, and little finger, emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder. Deep breath in and out. That's the desensitization step. Then switch hands, and now we're going to go and start here with the awfulized step, which is emotional trauma frozen in my shoulder, and say, as I've got a lot of anger or grief, and my shoulder is very painful, and my range of motion is frozen, and it's even worse because I have it on both sides. Another deep breath in and out. And switch hands again. And now we're going to do the neutralize step, which is starting with the same negative phrase, emotional trauma, frozen in my shoulder. And then here, you're going to exaggerate the positive. It's gone, I'm healed. And then on your middle finger, express some skepticism, saying, that sounds like a fantasy. But on the ring finger, say, if it does work, that'll be great. Maybe it's taking the edge off it. And then little finger, I'm curious to see how fast my shoulder can heal. That's the neutralize step. And we're going to switch hands again after another deep breath in and out, and shift toward the visualization step of all starts becoming all positive phrases. So start with, I want emotional freedom now. I'm letting go of those emotions in my shoulder. I'm getting my range of motion back. My shoulder is starting to feel more comfortable. I'm going to enjoy healing my shoulder as quickly as possible. Now, deep breath in and out. Now you can just close your eyes and just keep that breathing going. We're done with the tapping. Breathe in and out. And as you feel your favorite color coming down your arms, let it go out into your fingers and shake your fingers down by your side, and then let it go down into your legs and out through your feet and toes into the ground. And once you've shaken out everything you want to shake out, you can let your feet and toes shake as well. Then let yourself settle down, scan your body, looking for any place where the emotional trauma is still stuck or where you're still having a lot of pain. Assign a color to those areas, and then breathe your favorite color down into that area to have a healing effect. Then when you're ready, go to your favorite healing spot out in nature, someplace you might go on vacation. And when you're there, use all 5 of your senses to get connected to that place. And then imagine looking down at your feet onto the ground and looking for a healing object you can pick up and hold in your hand. It'll be your magic recycling tool. Just hold that in your hand and imagine draining any of the remaining emotional trauma into that object and releasing it back to the earth. Do a little ceremony or ritual to let it go. Mother Earth will turn it into compost. Then invite your healing spirit guide to come and visit you in your place. I recommend a being from the other side, one of 3 choices, either an angel, a spirit animal, or a wise ancestor from the past. Take the first one that volunteers and ask them for words of advice. See what wisdom they have to offer and thank them for their words. And then go back in the time machine into the past, to a time when your shoulders were very healthy and you had full range of motion, feeling very comfortable. Think of doing some activity that you can't do now that you could then. And soak up the feeling of that experience with your shoulders. Imagine someone took a snapshot of you, and we're going to put a picture frame around it with a certain color that reminds you of that feeling of healthy shoulders. So put that color picture frame around your picture, breathe that color into your body wherever it needs to go, and put that picture up on your memory wall so you can go tap into it anytime you need it. And then let's go back in the time machine into the recent past, particularly to a time right before your shoulder started to freeze. And see if you can recall any particular emotional trauma that occurred that might have triggered the freezing of the shoulder. And imagine what it would have been like if you realized right away that the emotion was getting stuck in your shoulder and you started doing tapping or expressive writing or some other method to release it from your body so that your experience of frozen shoulder could be significantly shortened and you could be thawing rapidly. Once you've sort of reimagined that scenario, like you're a Hollywood scriptwriter rewriting that scene, then project yourself into the future where your shoulders are starting to thaw, you're releasing any emotions that are still trapped there, and start to get your range of motion back and your shoulders feel much more comfortable. And you keep tapping until you're fully recovered. See what that scene would look like, and again, put a picture frame around that snapshot with a new color for how you're going to feel when you're completely healed and thawed. And put that around the picture, and then breathe it into your body wherever it needs to go. Put that picture up on your memory wall next to the one from the past, so you know where you've been, where you're going with the healing process in your future self. Then stretch and come on back. And take a deep breath in and out. And then we're going to go back to that future self scene one more time using 3 simple steps. Just squeeze your thumb and index finger together, take a deep breath and hold it, and open your eyes wide, creating a little tension. And then when you're ready, let your hand completely relax, close your eyes, blow the breath out, and go into that future scene when you're healed and thawed. And I'll bring that feeling back with you. And you can repeat this as often as needed to get the emotions moving out of your shoulder and jumpstart the healing process. Now, there are more videos on frozen shoulder and frozen shoulder injections, frozen shoulder procedures at my YouTube channel on my website, which is larryburk.com or letmagichappen.com. And you should be able to access those. There are a variety of other YouTube videos and blogs on all sorts of musculoskeletal and related health problems. And there's also a link for the frozen shoulder book if you haven't read that yet, and a couple TEDx talks. So check those out at larryburk.com or letmagichappen.com. And heal quickly.